Alright, what is up guys? Losermaniac here, and welcome to another Fallout New Vegas build. This one is one I made for very hard and hardcore mode. A lot of you guys may know I do a lot of hardcore mode builds, mostly because there aren't that many, and if they are, and if there is, there's usually it's usually for very hard mode. But I decided why not use both. Now this one is definitely a tricky one to start off at first, but then after a while, it'll become a breeze to do. Now this is the Cowboy. Again, this is the only one that I think won't have a backstory just because, I don't know, I'm not good at making backstories. I did try to, and then it just took forever to do. So, yeah. So, with that being said, here is the Cowboy. The special stats are going to be 6 strength, 5 perception, 5 endurance, 5 charisma, 8 intelligence, 5 agility, and 6 luck. Obviously, a well rounded character. If you guys know Fudge Muppets Cowboy build, it's like that, except the rest of the points don't go into agility rather than intelligence because this is a very hard and hardcore playthrough. I don't really care about VATs for this character. I mostly care about the skill points to make your character better, because I think we're going to need it. So the traits are, to me, it's trigger discipline and heavy handed. Again, I'm not. This is the only time, or I guess this is one of those where I don't really care about criticals. So something like this is going to be very useful. So, yeah. But I did give an option. If you do want to replace one of the traits with skilled, you can. I hate skilled, because I usually I tried this with skilled, and I wanted to avoid doing old world blues because I cannot stand that goddamn DLC. But I couldn't, so I decided let's just go back. Let's retry this. So this is my third time of trying this. So yeah, the tag skills are gonna be survival, guns, and explosives. And if it's wrong, you can always check the link description down below. I have all of those. I have all the information I have. Secondary tags are going to be melee, repair, and barter. So that way we can get. Barter is mostly used for. Okay, hold on. Let me take a step back. Survival is because we are going to be doing hardcore mode. Survival is a very much necessity. Also, I feel like I should mention, if you try any of my hardcore builds, make sure you use food as a healing item. Not at the store, you could use stim packs, but later on, make sure that you use food. Kind of like you're trying to get the achievement where you eat, like, where you heal yourself like 10,000 hit points by using nothing but food. Try and kind of play it as if you're doing that. Right? That makes sense, because you're surviving, or you're surviving. You're surviving. You need to have food. You need to have water. You need to sleep. So food is also a very big necessity. So yeah, guns. So we can use the medicine stick, which is something I'll talk about in a moment. And we need gun skill of 100, so that would be able to use it properly. And plus, we need strength of 6. That's why strength is at 6. Um, I would have made it lower, and I would advise making it lower if you do plan on using Old World Blues, because you do get strength. You get +1 to strength, or if you don't, but you do plan on doing Lonesome Road, you could put the extra point into strength, although I don't advise doing that. Mostly considering the fact that you would probably need the medicine stick to help you with Lonesome Road. So if you do that, use it on whichever one you want. So yeah, and then explosives, because we're a cowboy, we need to use dynamite, because who doesn't like dynamite, you know? Um, And then for the optional tags, melee, because we're gonna be using blood nap. Even though I don't use it, there are some people there who do like to use every possible weapon that they have on their person. So I do advise using blood nap. Earlier on, I would say get Chance's knife, since the Cowboy perk does affect Chance's knife. Yeah. Next is repair, because for the earlier weapons, I do advise getting that gun, and that gun, with the exception of the 556 pistol, or without jury rigging, you have no way of repairing it if you don't want to spend the caps on 556s, with 556 pistols. So I would say use that later on. Plus, you're gonna be using the medicine stick and the mysterious Magnum. Now you could use the Ranger Sequoia, but that's something else I'll talk about once I get into weapons. And plus the blood nap, you don't really find many. But whenever I played, I barely found any Bowie knives for that. I don't know if the blood nap can be just repaired with Bowie knives, but just to be safe, there we go. So, and then finally we have Barter to make prices cheaper, because blood nap is or not blood nap. The master stick is a really expensive gun. It's not the most expensive, but it's a pretty expensive gun at like 20,000 caps. If you have a barter of 100, of course. But if not, it is the most, to my knowledge, it isn't one of the most expensive, but for what I've seen, it is the most expensive thing ever. So something like that is gonna be something to keep note. Alright, so weapons, we're going to be using the medicine stick, the mysterious Magnum, the blood nap, and Dynamite. Now, you could use the Ranger Sequoia. I don't, and the reason that is because I don't like using pistols that use the same ammunition as your main gun. Like you would never ever see me use a 10mm submachine gun and a 10mm pistol, or 9mm submachine gun, a 9mm pistol, vice versa, and so on with the submachine guns and pistols route. So you could use a Ranger Sequoia if you want, but I prefer my Cowboy using a revolver, which happens to be the 44 caliber, or the 44 pistol. We'll get 44 Magnum revolver. So something like that is something to keep in mind. You don't have to use the Ranger Sequoia, but you can if you want. I do have the 44 Magnum listed in the description, but you can use the Ranger Sequoia. I'll have to modify it because at the moment where I have the listing, I don't have Ranger Sequoia because I didn't think about it. But if you do want to use it in place of the 44 Magnum, you absolutely can. Because some people do prefer to use 4570 government, and some people for both weapons, and one of them just prefers, like me, just prefers it for either a pistol or a rifle, not both. Because if I use one and I want to use the other one, well, now I go through more as opposed to less, or I go through more instead of having more. Does that make sense? Yeah. So. Yeah. So perks for this is, if you guys check my other builds, I do have Hunter. I realized that doesn't increase damage of animals, just increase critical damage. So I don't have Hunter. I do obviously have Cowboy. Fight the power, because this is very hard mode. And depending on whoever we side with, if we side with the Legion or the NCR house, yes man, that damage is going to be affected. Well, that damage bonus is going to be affected at Hoover Dam. So something like that is going to help make the battle a bit easier. I'll have to go. I think it is increased damage. Plus, you get increased damage threshold. I think. I know Fight the Power is a pretty good perk. But of course, before I upload this video, I'm going to have to check everything. So check the description if everything is, just to be safe, if everything's changed. And if they aren't, we'll let you know what's up. And then we have Commando and Gunslinger. You can use Demo Expert. I do have it as the main perks. But I do feel like that could go into optionals just in case if you don't want to risk killing yourself with with dynamite. So, oh gosh, that's a creepy ass man. Anyways, and I do have implants. Implants are gonna be the subdermal armor implants because I kind of went too fast, but we'll go with it. Because the armor we're going to be using gives us plus 13 max max health, um, or max damage threshold. But if we get the 4, you could also get toughness for increase. But I decided against it because I didn't think about it until now. Maybe once I get past level 30, I could get toughness. I'll have to look through and see if I need high. I think I need higher endurance, or whatever. I'll figure it out later. So last time I'm gonna say this. Check the description for whatever. Yeah. So you could get the subdermal armor implant for plus 4 damage threshold. You could get the endurance and the intelligence implants. I do recommend those because you already have 9 intelligence, which means we have more skills or skill points to put into our skills, and endurance to resist more damage. Plus, we can get a survival up higher, close to 50, which is kind of a big boost. Some other ones going back to perks, there is one I do also is optional, which is Comprehension, which increases the permanent tag skills or skill increase by 1, and plus you get an additional point from skill books, and from skill magazines you get plus 10 more, so 20 there, and then plus an additional 4, which I find to be useful because we're gonna save our skill points for something better. So that's something I do advise there. But again, that is under the optionals, so you don't have to. You can do this however you want. If you do want to get comprehension, by all means do so. If you don't, that's awesome also. So I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, armor. The like most important thing ever. So armor is gonna be the Courier Duster because it gives that cowboy feel. You could use Joshua Graham's armor, but I don't think that's well, while it does give more, if you are more into criticals, then I do advise using like Ulysses Duster or whatever, so you can do that. Plus, I feel like the duster kind of gives it a more of a cowboy feel. A cowboy hat, obviously. And if you want, you can use authority glasses. Kind of like all of my characters that I do have planned for. Kind of like with all the characters I play, I always, for Fallout 4, I always use sunglasses. So I feel like this is like the Fallout New Vegas equivalency of sunglasses, which is the authority glasses. I did also learn of new places you can get authority glasses as well as a cowboy hat. So if you enter Camp Searchlight, or in Camp Searchlight, if you enter it in the direction of Wolfhorn Ranch, which I think is east, yeah, if you head east of Wolfhorn Ranch, you will find Camp Searchlight. The closest church does have not only authority glasses but a decent looking cowboy hat, the Ranger Gray hat. So that is something I advise because it does have like a nice cowboy feel to it. Or if you're headed from, or if you're traveling from, or if you're traveling from Conwood Cove over to Camp Searchlight, it is the furthest out. So basically, once you're in Camp Searchlight, head to the eastern part of it. To know you're in the right place, you'll find Logan and his mercenary group, as opposed to where you'll usually find the Holy Frag Grenades if you have Wild Wasteland. So that's how you can tell. They're on a table. You can find the hat and authority glasses. I feel like I should have. I feel like I probably should have waited until I learned of that location for authority glasses, because my locations to find authority glasses for my sniper character was god awful. The explanation was terrible. So yeah, there you go. You can find them in the NCR supply cache with Logan in his group. Um, in the Camp Searchlight Church, or chapel, whatever. On a table in the basement. And while you're at it, pick up some ammunition if they have it. If not, you can totally sell it, which is awesome. Because who doesn't want caps, you know? Well, if you have plenty, then you probably don't want caps. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Again, if there's anything I'm missing, please check the description down below. I'm pretty sure I have everything. Oh yeah, in case you want to know, this character size with, either the NCR or Yes Man. Now, if you do check the description down below, I do say that Courier Dusters is faction oriented, with the exception of House, because fuck House. But there is a way to get the one you want if you're planning on signing with the NCR. But you do want Caesar's Legion or the Legion's Duster. All you have to do is get enough. I guess, what is it? Karma? That's reputation. If you get a positive reputation with the Legion and NCR, you can. And if you bring an NCR uniform with you, and if you put it on and you wear it, whenever you enter Ulysses' temple, from what I heard, since Caesar's Legion would be the highest, that's who you get. You get Caesar's Legion, you get the Legion Duster, but if that's not true, then you may want to not work with the NCR, but then get the affinity for it, which I think the best way to get affinity or reputation, positive reputation for the Legion is if you tell Severus or Severus, however it's pronounced, and you constantly tell them about mines or whoever it is at Cottonwood Cove, and you tell them how to detonate mines and how to like reuse it on the NCR, and you constantly do that. From what I've seen, that's how you get good affinity with the Legion. Something like that really helps. And then just don't worry about the NCR. I do advise either NCR or Legion because they increase damage or not increase damage. They increase carrying capacity to a certain extent. The NCR does more or has more. It increases by 25 pounds, but something like that is something to consider. So you do you. You can use whatever dust you want, except houses. Because I do advise working with NCR or Yes Man. Now, you could, if anything, if you don't want the Caesar's... I don't know how you guys start Lonesome Road. I don't know if it's like once you reach level 25, no matter where you are, you do Lonesome Road. Or if it's a case of like before you start Hoover Dam. Or whenever you need to talk to either Caesar or Caesar or House, Yes Man, or Colonel Moore to start the Battle of Hoover Dam. Before you're finally able to start the battle, you go and do Lonesome Road, or however you do it. Just keep that in mind. There are certain ways to do it. But I did kind of base it on how I do it, which is like whenever I get to level 25, I just start Lonesome Road. So yeah, that is something to take into consideration. Depending on how you play, depends on how you want your duster. If you do side with House, though, it's not the end of the world. It's totally fine. It's just that I advise you don't do House because the duster just seems not good. But what do I know? I still have yet to side with House during this whole ever since I got the Ultimate Edition. So, yeah, that is something to take into consideration. So, yeah, with that being said, hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you are new to my channel, hit subscribe. You can always change your mind. You can always unsubscribe if you change your mind. Hit that bell notification because I do not have a schedule, even though I've been doing pretty good with uploading. And also, comment down below, is there any advice you could give for anyone trying very hardcore mode? Or as I like to call it, very hardcore, because very hard hardcore, you get it. So yeah, anyways, Losomaniac. Also, what would you change about this? I forgot to mention. Comment down below what would you change about this, because maybe there's something I'm forgetting. There has to be something I'm forgetting, and if there isn't, then whatever. Um, Also, you could get the professional, although you do need a high sneak skill, so just keep that in mind. If you do want the professional, which does increase critical chance, if you do go for critical chance with this character, just keep in mind that the professional does increase critical chance, even without sneaking, which increases it for revolvers, which I think the Ranger Sequoia, the Mysterious Magnum, and the 44, and I think that gun counts as well. So yeah, just keep that in mind. This is how you want to do it. I'm just giving you guys the special stats, the tags, the skills, or whatever, the traits and armors and weapons. You do how you want. I'm not here to control you. I'm just here to tell you my build. So yeah, with that being said, Losomaniac out.